Hello everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video, we're diving into an exciting topic: why an Egyptian god of war should take inspiration from the Greek games rather than the Norse ones. But there's a twist. The God of War franchise turning away from the Greek saga and entering its Norse era was a great change of scenery for the series. After years of exploring the Greek pantheon, a new chapter was a much-needed evolution for God of War. Not only did the franchise's setting change drastically, but so did Kratos as a character. The Norse saga introduced a more mature and nuanced take on the series that showcased some great growth from such an iconic protagonist. Both the Greek and Norse pantheons are filled with fascinating lore and history, but the Norse story stepped away from exploring some portions of mythology. The Greek saga spent a lot of time with its underworld, and God of War may need to examine the afterlife of its next perspective pantheon at a greater length. Recent rumors and speculation have suggested God of War is gearing up to introduce a new pantheon, and if this is the case, this would present the perfect time to explore a fascinating afterlife. Now let's not waste any more time and jump right into the discussion. Highlight topics. Number 1. Making the afterlife a priority. God of War has spent a lot less time in Helheim, the Norse afterlife, during its era. Although players visit the realm, there is so much more that could be explored with the area's history and myth. The current expectations for God of War are based on speculations that Kratos and Atreus' individual journeys will lead them out of the Norse realm, with one possibility being Egypt. This possible new setting would provide the perfect ingredients to kickstart a new and compelling chapter for the franchise. Number 2. The unique Egyptian afterlife perspective. When it comes to ancient mythologies from around the world, they each have their own fascinating version of an afterlife, but the ancient Egyptian version of this concept is one of the most unique in world history. God of War's possible exploration of new mythologies could set the stage for ancient Egypt's afterlife to be put in the spotlight. Known as Aaru, or the Field of Reeds, this interpretation of an afterlife is far more peaceful than a lot of other ancient cultures' views. In the Field of Reeds, people are introduced to an idealized version of their life on Earth. According to the ancient Egyptians, death was not an end to one's life, but a continuation of the soul. It was believed that there was no pain or suffering in the Field of Reeds, which could be fascinating to see showcased in God of War. Although Helheim hasn't been explored to its full extent, the Norse afterlife clearly was an oppressive and cold environment devoid of anything positive, so it would be intriguing to see the opposite of that. Anubis is a jackal-headed deity who serves as the guide to the underworld in ancient Egyptian mythology. Number 3. Setting the stage for Kratos' next chapter. The end of Ragnarok's Valhalla DLC saw Kratos finally accepting and forgiving himself after years of inner conflict. Now that Kratos has finally come to terms with who he is, there is a strong possibility that the next game in the franchise could be the end of his long journey. As Kratos gets older, there have been expectations that the character may eventually meet his fate, but that ending doesn't have to be tragic, especially if his path leads him to Egypt. If Kratos dies in the next God of War, he deserves to die in peace, and the Field of Reeds would offer just that. Since the beginning of the Norse saga, it seems as though God of War has been eyeing Atreus to take up Kratos' protagonist mantle, and if that happens, Kratos deserves an afterlife that gives him the happy ending he has fought so hard for. And that wraps up our discussion today. What do you think about an Egyptian God of War? Should the afterlife take center stage? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more gaming content. Until next time.